In today's video, I'll show you how you'd be able to use Linear for project management. So let's get started. So first is that you want to go here into linear.app, log in into your account, and navigate here into your teams on the left menu. And from there, you should now be able to see your team name. And right now, you want to click here on projects. So since we are into project management, we would need to create a project in here. So once you're here, you want to click here on Add Project button right here on your screen, which is right here on the top, right? And now is that you could customize the icon for this project. Let's say I'm going to go for this one right there. And I'm going to change the color into just yellow right there. And then you can go for the project name. Let's say that I'm going to go for project. Let's say with a code name. So I'm going to go for project bananas. And then you could add a short summary about this project, just a short description on what it's about. So depending on what you'd want to put in here. So let's say that this is about banana production, for example. And then here in the description is where you would be able to add all of the details that you would want to be added into this project. Like you could write as long as it takes right here. So you could add every detail that you need. And then here we have the milestones. So basically, this is a great way for you to achieve your end goal by setting up milestones right here. So basically, they are small stepping stones toward that end goal of yours into this project. Like for example, here it's about banana production. Let's say that we are aiming like 1,000 pieces of banana at the end of the month. So in here, I could add a milestone. Like for example, I'm gonna go for by week one. Week one, I would want to produce about 50 bananas. And then I'm going to click here on to add milestone again, and that would automatically be saved. And let's say in week 2, I would want to produce 250 bananas right there. You can always add more if you want to. And once you're satisfied with this, you could always go here into these buttons in here. You could go for the status of this project. Is it still in backlog, planned, in progress, completed, or canceled? So you can change the status. Let's say I'm going to go for planned. And in here is the urgency of this project. And then who is leading this project. You could also add members after you have created this project later on. And then here you could see the members. And then you could set a start date and then the end date right here. And then you have the labels for this project for organizational purposes and then the dependencies. Once you're all satisfied with the settings, click here on Create Project, and then you should now see it right here. Now you can open up that project. And in here, you can now add members. So we can go here into lead, and then you can click here onto invite and add and provide your email. Now, you should also be able to see the description right here that you have provided and then the milestones. So in here is that you can click here on this milestone. And then you can add a description if needed, just more details about these milestones on what would need to be done. You could also set a target date. You could also click here on the 3 dots, and then from here, you can move the milestone into multiple projects. You can convert this into a project if you'd want to. Now, another useful feature that you could use here in Linear is that we have the cycles. In here, this is basically where you can set a cycle for a specific amount of time of your choice. Like for example, here in cycle 1, like I could add some details right here that I would need to do every time with an interval. Like for example, you would want this to be a meeting, so you would need a cycle for the meetings. Like for example, each cycle would have an interval of 1 week, so that would mean that you would have a meeting every week right here. So that would be the cycle. So it is basically for something that you would need to do repeatedly over a course amount of time. So yeah, this is a great way for you to do this, and it's not available right away. So you would need to enable this by clicking here on the 3 dots, go into team settings, and go into cycles. And this is where you can enable that and set the cycle duration and other options. And next is that you could also go here into the views. This is also a helpful one. So in here, you can see the views for the issues and projects, where you could be able to organize the views in here for a specific purpose so that you'd be able to stay organized on all the tasks that you would need to be done, or all the tasks that is assigned to a specific person. So this is also a handy way for you to stay organized. So yeah, this is how you'd be able to use Linear for project management. Thank you for watching and see you in the next one.